Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Hey, in this one we're going to be discussing a couple things. First of all, overall safety in Cambodia. Second of all, what you should do in case you witness some kind of emergency or you're having an emergency thing happening to you. What's your best course of action? And let me know down in the comments if you've ever experienced any of the things we'll be talking about. But as a reminder, if you want to support the channel and help us out, we rely on you to do what we do. We love our supporters. You guys are the best, and we always appreciate it. And if you want to be part of that, we'd love to have you, and there are links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com, so check those out. You can also purchase my books, and you can find the link for those down below as well. All right. So, the safety overall in Cambodia, you've probably seen the videos from all kinds of people, and yes, it's a very safe country comparatively to like the United States, perhaps. Local on foreign violent crime is extremely rare here. Most of the time, foreigners only have to worry about crimes of opportunity. You leave your phone on the table, you turn around to talk to somebody, you turn back around, it's gone. Purse snatching, sometimes phone snatchings, especially in the capital of Phnom Penh. Those things do happen. But all you got to do is exert a little bit of common sense and don't flaunt your money or your jewelry or your expensive gadgets in public. And what I like to tell people is, in general, when you go out, don't take more than what you need. Don't take anything you can't afford to lose, just in case. That includes your passport. Just always have a copy of it and a picture on your phone. That'll do in any circumstance I've ever encountered, if you ever need to show it for whatever reason. And, if you're just going out for a night with some friends, just take enough money that you'll think you'll need. No sense in bringing $300-400 and showing it around trying to get change from people. You put a target on your back for those opportunists. But generally, overall, it's a very safe country. Most violent crime only happens between locals. They have a beef with one another, and unfortunately, they resort to violence, as happens in any other country in the world as well. So generally, overall, Cambodia is a very safe country for foreigners to visit or to live. Well, what happens if you experience an emergency? What happens if you're walking down the street and you see a building on fire? Or you see a horrible accident happen in front of you, or somebody's having a medical emergency, or somebody's being robbed in the street? When I first got here, I experienced kind of one of those things. Nothing major. Both people wound up being fine. But we were walking down the sidewalk, and a motorbike turned the corner a little fast, hit some gravel, and the bike went sliding, and they went tumbling off right onto the road. And it happened right next to us, and my first impulse was to run over there and make sure they were okay. So I grabbed my arm so hard it left bruises. I'm not kidding. She had like a kung fu grip on my arm. I didn't even think she had that kind of strength, but she did. And when I looked at her, she was looking at me kind of like I was an idiot and kind of like, really fearful. And she explained to me the best she could that because there were two locals and I'm a foreigner, if I go over there, and even if I'm just trying to help, if the police do happen to show up, they're going to think I'm involved. And basically, there are some corrupt police officers, and they will threaten you with jail, even though you were just trying to help, unless you give them a little something. They could turn the situation around and make it seem like it was your fault it happened. Why else would you be over there, trying to help them, and et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes it's because of corruption, sometimes it's just because of miscommunication, but this was verified by a couple other people I talked to, and they said the same thing. If you witness anything like a fire, like an accident, like a fight breaking out between locals, use the emergency numbers. Now in Siem Reap, there's emergency numbers for fire, ambulatory services, and of course the police. I will leave those numbers in the description. So if you plan on moving to Siem Reap, these might be numbers you want to have handy. Maybe program them into your phone or put them in a document somewhere so they're available to you should you need them. Now, outside of that one incident, I have never experienced anything that would require using those numbers. I've never had to use them. But I still have them just in case because, stuff happens, man. Life is chaotic at best. You never know what's going to happen, what you're going to experience every day. One thing I love about Cambodia is that every day is different and you never know. But just in case something like that happens between locals, do your best not to get involved. I mean, if it's a medical emergency and you could possibly save a life, use your best judgment. But just be aware that it could backfire on you. And using the emergency numbers to get somebody there quickly is probably your best bet. And even better, if there's locals around, dial the number and have them talk. Because the person on the other end might know English, but maybe not enough to get your location. And you don't want to waste precious minutes in an emergency just trying to get somebody to understand where you are and what's going on. But that's the best way you can help if you see other people experiencing something tragic. Just use those emergency numbers. Again, they are in the description, the ones in Siem Reap. I also put those numbers for Siem Reap, for Phnom Penh, and also the different embassy information in the reference section of my book, Live in Cambodia, A Guide for Living in the Kingdom of Wonder. That's listed under my books if you want to purchase it there and have all the numbers. That's up to you. Now, what if it's your emergency? What if you're having some kind of emergency? Well, if it's a medical emergency and it's not life or death, maybe you twisted your ankle, maybe you fell and your knee's swelling up, you hit the ground, maybe you're feeling dizzy or perhaps a little concussed, but it's not actually life or death. Go to a clinic. Any clinic in town will do, and while it's not perfect, there are issues with the medical care over here still. It's a developing country after all, but generally they're pretty good at those kinds of things. I know a guy, he twisted his ankle pretty bad. It was sprained at least, but he didn't know if it was broke. He went to a clinic. They elevated it, they wrapped it, they put ice on it for a while to let the swelling go down. Then they gave him some pain pills right there and a prescription for more, and they charged him like $6 for the whole thing. So it will be a cash transaction at these places, but it's very, very affordable. And if it's something more serious, they will tell you, and you can go from there. If it is way serious, and if you think you are experiencing something that could be a matter of life or death, definitely you can use the emergency number, but again, you might have communication problems, so I would recommend just grabbing the nearest pass app or tuk-tuk, have them take you directly to the hospital. You will get there quick, plus the driver can explain that you're experiencing some kind of medical emergency when you get there, although most hospital doctors and nurses will speak enough English to understand your medical issues. But it's always nice to have a local that can kind of get it right and interpret it. And if it's a situation where you're home alone and you're not physically able to get up and go and find a tuk-tuk or a pass app, just start yelling. Just start yelling, kicking, screaming. Somebody will come to your door, hopefully. That could happen in any country, though. How many times you hear about in America where, somebody was found only after a strange smell was coming from underneath their door because they'd been dead for, 2 weeks or whatever. But, do whatever you can to get somebody's attention. But again, you also have the emergency numbers where you can call, and hopefully they speak enough English to get to your location and can help you out. And when you do go to the clinics, remember, there are plenty of them, but they're not all created equal. I found that out. I went to a clinic once, and this doctor, he was very nice, very professional, good bedside manner, spoke good English. So I said, so where did you go to college? And he said, Columbia. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good university, Columbia University in America. That's a good one. And come to find out, he meant the country, not the university. And it was, I guess, an online kind of deal. So maybe I'm not the best judge. I mean, one time he tried to take my temperature rectally with an electronic field detector hooked up to a car battery. And I was like, whoa, whoa, doc. I'm not falling for that 3 times in a row. Stop it. The last 2 times I was pooping rectangles for a week. I'm not going to do it again. Those are jokes. Just jokes. Don't take life too seriously, peeps. But anyway, yeah, you have several options, but common sense will dictate what to do. And usually your first instinct is probably right. And usually you're wrong when you have to overthink it a little bit too much. But just remember those emergency numbers for Siem Reap are down below. Use them if you witness anything that you think it requires those services. And if it's between locals, do not get involved, because you could be setting yourself up for a big hassle that you don't really need, and I'm sure you don't want. But like I said, there might be circumstances where you could actually, perhaps save a life or do some real good. And remember the corruption here from the police that want bribes. It's not every single cop you're going to encounter. There's just enough bad apples in there to make it seem like it, because everybody has a story about a cop asking for bribes. But it's not universal. Cambodia has done a great job of weeding out those corrupt officials. Every so often you read about it, they'll fire a bunch of people for corruption. But of course, this is going to continue. It's like one of those deals where everyone they fire, 2 more pop up, So it does happen, but it's not universal. And use your best judgment, but try not to get yourself in trouble. And that's the best advice I can give you. All right, so there you go. Be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, you can donate through PayPal or Ko-fi.com. Other channels, I've added a couple. They're vlogging here in Cambodia, kind of new. Those channels are down there, really good stuff. I like their content, and all the rest, of course. And check out what else I got down there, because you might find some things you like, including pre-stories and other things. All right, from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.